Good morning, everyone. I am not a paid vlogger. My YouTube channel, the Google AdSense ad, is not working. So that means I'm not doing this for money. But I'm so concerned, I'm so fucked up with what happened in the Philippines right now. Look at this guy here. He was giving a speech on February 5 before they closed their session in Congress. I will read that one in Tagalog and it's a mix. There's a few lines here that are in English. Binida ni House Speaker Martin Romualdez. And you know what? I'm doing this at 3:30 in the morning. I'm so fucked up with what happened in the Philippines right now. Binida ni House Speaker Martin Romualdez ang pagsusulong ng Kamara sa interes ng sambayanan sa isang talumpati bago mag-adjourn ng session kahapon, February 5, 2025. Isunulong natin ang interes ng sambayanan. Ina mong kupal niyan. Are you sure, Martin Romualdez, you are protecting the public interest of the people of the Philippines, or your own interests to steal the money from the tax? Lumaban sa mga pirsa ng kadiliman, hindi umatras sa kampo ng kasamaan. You're describing yourself. You're fighting against the forces of darkness, the forces of evil. But you are the combination of the two, the forces of evil and darkness. What an ironic word here. We are not here to protect the powerful. We are here to serve the people. You're serving your people. The congressmen who has no principle in themselves, but they're selling their souls to you, the money you promised for them. Ang kongresong ito ay hindi magpapagamit sa alinmang interes maliban sa interes ng sambayanan. Ang tama ipaglalaban, ang mali itatama, dagdag pa niya. I don't understand what kind of stuff that is correct for him. I don't know what is wrong and what is right for him. Guys, I'd like to tell you, this guy here, Martin Romualdez, a congressman representative in the district of Tacloban, and he's afraid to have competitor during elections, so all his rivals were being disqualified by the Comelec. Of course, he's giving money to the Comelec so that only him who can run. So even if there were only 3-5 voters in Tacloban, then he still win because he has no rival in the election. And he is assuming to be the president right now because his cousin, BBM Bongbong Junior Marcos, is a weak individual. But I think this guy and the president, I think both of them are the brains behind the corruption anomaly in my country right now, Philippines. Look at this guy. You know what? If there's a chance that I could see this guy in other countries, especially in the country where I'm working right now, I will stab him to death. I'm so frustrated already of what is going on in my country. Just imagine they empty empty the PhilHealth Fund, and PhilHealth Fund with 67 million direct contributors. Probably the money is amounted to more than 500 billion pesos already, and it's gone. It's empty, according to one of the Supreme Court judge. They just discovered about this problem, and the allocated budget for DPWH uh, way bigger than other agencies. It's more than 1 trillion pesos. And the problem with education, they mix with the police and the military training funds with education so that it can level up with the DPWH allocated budget. Supposed to be, it should not be like that. It's very frustrating. I'm not into politics. Maybe last 2016, I was like a little bit involved during the campaign of President, former President Rodrigo Duterte, because a lot of other individuals here in Thailand were being paid just to talk against the good president. So I step up as well. I joined with the other individuals in Bangkok. Well, after that, I was so quiet. But I think right now, as a citizen, I have the right to speak up about my right and to tell the public what is the real situation in our country right now. This guy here with the thick face, shameless boy, like, look at him. He's getting fat and obese while he was in Congress. He's well fed by the taxes from the people, and right now they're not satisfied of what they got, and they have to steal more. Just imagine that. They're asking all Filipino people to pay additional taxes. I don't know if that one will be in effect by this year 2025, because they're milking uh, the bucks of my country, Philippines, where it is the people's money they are taking. And now they're asking Filipino people to pay more taxes so that they could steal more. Garapalan na talaga itong maputang inang ito eh. Nakakabuisit na talaga. Yan. Si BBM, lumaking magnanakaw kasi ang ama magnanakaw. Ngayon, tinuturo naman niya sa anak niyang si Sandro, nagkunwaring matalino, na maging magnanakaw din. Pero, I'm pretty sure Marcos regime is done. Tinapos ni BBM ang pangalang Marcos sa panahon niya. Naging presidente siya ngayon. May natitira pang 2 years and 11 months sa panunungkulan niya bilang presidente. Still have 2 years and 11 months left in his presidency before another election will occur by 2028, but I don't think if he can last with that remaining years. I'm sure there will be not civil war, not people's power, but I'm sure that Supreme Court will still work this out in favor for the people of the Philippines. Otherwise, the Supreme Court had been paid by billions. But I hope their conscience are still functioning with regards to this matter, and they will try to figure out that these are the guys that needs to be um, impeached from their position and not Sara Duterte. I know I have a few friends um, that probably in the previous months they sided to Bongbong Marcos, but I think right now they can't do it because it's pretty obvious. Only the Duterte family who has the heart to favor and protect the Filipino people. But this guy here, as far as I can remember, when there was a massive and catastrophic typhoon that happened in Tacloban back in 2016, he was a mayor or a congressman already there. I'm not sure what was his position that time. And then it was Duterte, the father of the vice president right now, that they are persecuting to put all the blame to her and to cover up their anomaly, their scam, their corruption. It was the father of our current vice president right now that they wanted to be impeached, was the one providing all the rescue operations, money, food, and everything to his place, Tacloban City. And Duterte that time was a mayor, probably in Davao. The president that time was Noynoy Aquino, and the DILG secretary was Mar Rojas, if I'm not mistaken with my information. But Noynoy Aquino was just taking pictures and Mar Rojas there. They're not doing anything. His people will not survive without the help of Mayor Duterte back in 2000, not 16, not 2016, but around like early 2000, around 2010 to 2010 something. I cannot specifically mention the specific year, but it was before the election of 2016, where the rescue volunteers, equipments, helicopters, food, water, and everything were sent by Mayor Duterte from Davao City to help out the situation of his place, Tacloban City. And he was even crying for help. This guy here is a deadly snake. Martin Romualdez is a deadly snake. He was kissing Tatay Digong's ass. He was even like doing the mano po, like a polite gesture in my country. Yeah. But you know what? There was a video. Uh, there was a clip on that where he was doing the mano po, like asking the blessing from the hand of uh, Duterte. But Duterte was just responding with a smirk. He knew, even from that time, that this guy is a snake. And that's why during the time that Duterte was the president from 2016 up to 2022, this guy, Martin Romualdez, was not given any position in the Congress. But when BBM, his cousin, was the president, then he was automatically promoted to be the House Speaker in the Congress. So he was the boss in the lower house. And then that's the beginning of the magic, where money started to disappear because of this guy. I hope the children of this guy will be bullied in the school, but probably all his kids were sent already to other countries. And they're very like elite family in the neighborhood of Alabang. I'm not sure with the other residences of this guy. I really hate this man. I think he's paying almost all individuals and agencies in the Philippines that could somehow fight against him. So before these individuals can think of something against him, then later on you will find it out that this guy is already under his payroll. And yeah, it's very frustrating. And I'm not into this kind of thing that um, minding about our politics, but I'm so frustrated. You know, my frustration is really extreme that even the shadow of this man, I'd like to skin this guy. If there's a chance that I can see this guy in person, I'd like to skin this man and then put him like 2 3 sacks of salt, and after that let him be under the sun for the whole day. Yeah. But probably the punishment that the Muslims, that the Islams are doing. The atrocities, the anomalies, the problems, the distraction that this guy is doing in my country, Philippines, is beyond what a worse human can do. This is really, really far worse than other corrupt officials in the world. Yeah, Zimbabwe and Venezuela, as far as I can remember, they have corrupt leaders as well. Yeah, they have corrupt leaders, but I think Martin Romualdez is beyond than these individuals can do. Yeah, if there will be no immediate, if there will be no immediate help in our country right now, just imagine this is the time where personal, private, individual vloggers are helping each other to provide public awareness because we have millions of bobotante, dumb voters in my country is prevailing. If they can receive 1,000 or 5,000 baht, that's a peso, that's more than 5,000 peso, that's around $100, all the way through the lineup of a certain party will be voted by these individuals as long as they could receive a certain amount of money. And now they're literally trying to pursue the BICAM 2025 national budget will not be considered as unconstitutional by the Supreme Court because Attorney Vic Rodriguez and Representative Ungab um, have already submitted the file. Have already submitted or filed a case to the Supreme Court, and if the Supreme Court will side on that complaint, then the 2025 national budget will not be released. And there in the 2025 release, they act up 26 billion and Iktupad and other um, dummy names they have included there, but actually the money that is allocated in that dummy names will go directly to their pockets to buy votes this coming midterm election, May 2025. Like in the guise of infrastructure projects, um, farm to market roads, probably funding to inject the local economy into the respective districts, but actually there will be no money that will go to their respective dummy names, but those monies will go directly to their pockets and to the recipients whom they already considered to be their supporters because they have this money allocated to each of these individuals. Probably in the respective districts, they have their favorite supporter barangay captains where they can channel the budget, and then that budget will go to from barangay captains that they have chosen already, and then it will go to the specific individual target whom they believe will vote for them during election. But now the public awareness through personal vloggers. These vloggers are not Duterte vloggers. Do you think Duterte knew me even I live in Davao? No. But this is the only guy who has so much concern with the Filipino people's interests, not his interests. But all Dutertes are accused of anything from extrajudicial killing issue, corruption. But I think he was the only president who was able to provide hundreds of new infrastructures, bridges, widening the roads. Just imagine it was during pandemic time. A lot of programs that Duterte was able to accomplish in 6 years than Ferdinand Lakay Marcos in 20 years. It's a fact. Even Rodrigo Duterte loved to curse words. I do the same. Yeah. But I understand him why he's cussing. Why he's cussing because he is pissed off with the situation of the country. He's pissed off by these individuals who are doing nothing in the country but destroying and damaging the country. Yeah, this guy, remember this. If you can see him, yeah, you know what? I was even thinking probably the punishment that the Islams and the Muslims are doing. Like put this guy in jail and then later on put him outside and let every people bring a stone or a rock and then throw it at him, and he will be buried with the rocks alive. Or probably we can bring him in the ocean and then tied him on a heavy rock, probably 5 times heavier than his full weight, and then both of them be thrown in the ocean. Yeah. And probably before doing it to him, he must be skinned, and then later on throw him in the ocean. Yeah, I'm so angry with this guy and his cousin BBM is denying everything, but I know both of them are the brains behind the corruption and the anomalies in my country. But BBM trying to be, uh, trying to show himself in public as clean as he wanted the addictus benedictus individual. Yeah, if he's not guilty about the accusation of the people, because it was Duterte who called him out first that he's an addict, he's a cocaine user. Now, evidences are quite obvious. A lot of people, like even Kati Binag, the former uh, partner of Florindo. Florindo is a billionaire, a rich guy from Davao, and a friend of BBM, and they're together in every sessions. They're doing the swinging or whatever they do. And Kati Binag was there a few times, and she has this evidence with her to support the claim. And they're afraid they cannot call her out because they knew she has the the ace card. And yeah, it will be like, but hopefully probably at least a few months from now, because I cannot wait any longer. These guy and his cousin will stay in the position and nothing happens to them. I want them to pay with their ugly soul of the atrocities they have committed to the Filipino people.